Today we're going to do a short video how to fit the rear mud flaps on the Range Rover Evoque, the Pure and the Prestige model. So basically, if you look behind here, we've got a bumper on the floor. That's the dynamic model. So if you've got exhaust like that, you're watching the wrong video. If your exhaust around, you're watching the right video. Right, so these are the mud flaps, okay? And this is the fitting kit. Now this isn't the genuine mud flaps, these are what we're calling the aftermarket easy fit mud flap, and they're the fittings you'll need. We'll go through how you use these. And these are the mud flaps. They've got the textured finish, the same as the original, and the holes on the inside. Okay, now I have a reference, got here a genuine Range Rover item. Okay, you can see the finish is pretty much similar. The shape, if I zoom out, is pretty much similar. Now the genuine ones fit using a whole host of nuts and bolts that we don't really reckon are all needed, unless you want to perforate your car tremendously. So you can see there you've got those two Allen head fixings there that go into the fittings as shown there, and they've got these nuts and bolts here, and they've got a special spacer washer. But these are kind of tricky because you've got to get a drill in behind here. So we're offering you a solution. Now you could use nuts and bolts and bolt our mud flaps up in the same way, or you could go with the little way we've devised for fitting them. It's entirely up to you, but this is what we will supply you with: the 2 mud flaps and these 6 fittings. Now we try to get the tools that we think you'll need for doing the job so you can get ready. We've got some masking tape, you'll see where that's used with, a 7mm drill, a pencil. One of the Phillips screws is a bit hard to get into, so we've got a little socket set with a crosshead driver, and for compressing these spring clips on, we've got some sort of adjustable water pump type pliers here. Okay, alright, that's good. So now let's go over to the car. So we've got the car in the workshop here. We're not going to jack it up. We're going to try and emulate how you could do it yourself at home. Okay. Now the first one we need to take out, we're probably okay, Tom, without the torch for the minute, is this bottom Phillips screwdriver down in here. Okay, now this is the one that is kind of tight from the wheel. You can almost come at it from behind the wheel, but you'll see if I use this little short ratchet driver that it's a little easier to get. Now I'm going to have to get Tom to give me a hand now, because I'm not too dexterous at this. Here we go. Okay, let's remove that. Now what I might do is push that light further back, Tom, because I'm worried it's going to get in the video. Okay, there we go. Let's have a look. Right, so there we go. So that's the first screw out. Okay, so this is a standard self-tapping screw with an integral washer, and you'll see on the back there that there's a captive on the inner liner. There's a captive. Now we will be reusing this screw, so don't throw this screw away. Okay, right, the next thing I need to do is to grab the masking tape. You can go in there, Tom. And what we're going to do is you need to put a bit of masking tape, because what we're going to do is the mud flap is obviously going to go on here, and we need to drill a hole to line up with this middle hole here, the one that's in the middle of the bend. So when you line it up, you can see it's going to be roughly, okay, it's going to be roughly on this bend area here. Okay, so we're just going to put a bit of masking tape, because we need to mark with a pencil, and it's hard to see it on the black. So I'm going to go a bit overboard and put 2 bits on. Okay, right. Okay, now you can need to line up your mud flap. Now it should, at the top, come up to the top, pretty much the top edge of the bumper there. Okay, and then if you just go around the other side of me, Tom, and just show people how it should all line up. And in fact, actually, look, we've got a little line here. This is probably the best indicator, is to make sure that line lines up exactly with that groove on the rear bumper. Right? And then what we need to do, poor Tom, he's leaping around everywhere. We need to go in through this little hole on the corner and mark in there. Okay, now this is the only hole we need to drill on this fitting. Okay, so when we take it away, you see there we've got the hole that we need to drill. So I'll go and grab the drill now, and we'll drill that out with a 7mm drill. Okay, so we're going to drill the hole. I've got just the cordless drill. I've actually got one of these lip and spur drills, which has got the point. Now, a normal drill will be fine, but it's just you're less likely to wander with this type of drill. Okay, and if you, because you can just push the spike in, okay, and then just like so. Okay, that's there. Right, and then what we need to do. So we've just, now I'm going to have to amend the video slightly. We've actually worked out that the 8mm drill is better, so you really need an 8mm. The 7mm is too tight, but I'll put a note on the early part of the video for that. Okay, so now we're ready to take the mud flap. Okay, and what we need to do is to take this and feed it through here. So this is what we call a fir tree. It's like a barbed fixing, and the reason these are better than nuts and bolts is that they're not going to rust. You're not going to end up with, because all the salt spray is going to, and it gives a neat flush finish, so we think it's a good solution. Okay, and then what you need to do is from the back there, Tom, is line up that with the hole you've got there, and then push that home. Now you may have to pull a little on the inside of the wheel arch. Okay, to get that to go in fully. Okay, right, now we'll tighten that up a little bit more later, but now what we'll do is we'll refit the screw, okay, at the bottom. So now this will go through the mud flap, it'll pass through the hole there, and then it needs to just catch on to that fixing that's in the wheel arch liner there. Now I think I've got it. I'm trying to keep out the way of the video. Okay, so when you've got those lined up, it's just a question of winding that. Oh, I haven't got my, I'm trying to do it the best way and still give you guys visibility on the video. Okay, you see all that pulling up together now? Yeah, Tom's got the torch down the camera. And you'll see it's caught in that, the self-tapper's caught in that metal clip at the back there. They're called spire clips, aren't they, Tom? Nice clip. A few clips or spires. And wind that up. Okay, feel that goes tight. So that's located at the bottom. Okay, so that's that in. Now the next thing we need to do is we've got the two U-clips. We've got the baby one and the daddy one. So we're going to start with the daddy one first. Okay, and this is where we need to bend this little tab here round over. So if you can see that hopefully in the video, and then you need to take these clips, and that clip then forces over there. Okay. Now you may need, this is where you may need the pliers, just to squidge, is that a technical term? Squeeze might be better. Right then, to squeeze those two together, like so, and just get those located down, okay? So that's gripped that, and then we need to grab the little baby clip, okay, and again, fold that round, so it's just gripping the edge of the wing there. Okay, now this one's a little sharper, so just be careful. Okay, again we've got that just started, if it will just stay there long enough for me to just grab that on there, and you, okay, and then grab that on there, that clips. Now the last thing we need to do is just make sure we've got that fir tree fix in there, just pushed all the way home by squeezing that, and I'm just gonna squeeze that in again with the pliers just to make sure I've got the full force of that home, and that is the job done.